Welcome to one of the most popular Christmas stories in world literature. Today in this video, I will be talking to you about Charles Dickens' very famous novella, A Christmas Carol. It is said that the popular greeting, Merry Christmas, was made popular by Dickens in this novella, and also his most favorite expression that we all know, Bah Humbug. So let's take a look at Dickens and this novella.
Charles Dickens was a British novelist, a journalist, editor, illustrator, and social commentator. He has written classic English novels such as Oliver Twist, Nicholas Nickleby, David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, and so on. Dickens has created some of the world's best-known fictional characters and is regarded as one of the greatest novelists of the Victorian era. He enjoyed a wide popularity during his time. His works were enjoyed by the simple and the sophisticated, by the poor and the rich. His apprehension of Victorian society and its shortcomings enriched his novels and made him world famous. A Christmas Carol, it has a subtitle, A Ghost Story of Christmas. Now this novella was suddenly conceived and written in a few weeks in late December 1843. It was the first of Dickens's Christmas books, and it was considered a new literary genre. A Christmas Carol is a story about a mean and a selfish old man named Ebenezer Scrooge who hates Christmas, and it is considered by critics as the one great Christmas myth of modern literature. Now the novella is divided into 5 sections called 5 staves, Staves. Now, in the preface to the novella, this is what Charles Dickens has written. I have endeavored in this ghostly little book to raise the ghost of an idea which shall not put my readers out of humor with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it. Their faithful friend and servant, C.D. December 1843. Now, in stave 1, which is titled Marley's Ghost, we find that the story begins on a very cold Christmas Eve. It is evening, and Scrooge is seen working alone in his office with only a clerk for company. The name of the clerk is Bob Cratchit, and we find that Scrooge is basically very unkind to people. He doesn't, his only response is "Bah humbug" to everything. So two people approach him for donations, and he refuses to give them. As I mentioned, he just responds with one expression, "Bah humbug." Now Scrooge is also very rude to his nephew Fred, who comes to invite him to Christmas. The next day is Christmas, so he invites Scrooge, who is a bachelor and who has no other immediate relations or close friends to spend Christmas with. So Fred invites him very pleasantly and very warmly to his home for Christmas dinner. But again, Scrooge has only one response, and that is "Bah humbug." And he's also angry with his clerk, Bob Cratchit, because he wants a holiday on Christmas Day to spend Christmas with his friends. Now, Scrooge goes home late in the evening, and when he's about to open the door, he finds the ghostly face on the door knocker. And he realizes with a shock that the face is of his old business friend named Jacob Marley. And Marley has been dead for some time now, and Scrooge is shocked, and he thinks that maybe he is seeing. Maybe he's dreaming something and so on, and so he just opens the door and he goes inside. But after a while, he is visited by the ghost of Jacob, Marley. As you can see in the picture, this is the original illustration that came in the first edition. It is that was illustrated in color by John Leach. So he is terribly disturbed by the sight of Jacob Marley, because Marley is completely bound by chains, and he asks Marley, what has happened to you? And this is what he answers. So the ghost, the ghost of Jacob Marley says, I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I wore it. Is its pattern strange to you? So Scrooge understands that Marley is trying to tell him something, and Marley doesn't stay for long. He just tells Scrooge to expect 3 visits by 3 different spirits or ghosts. And we move on to stave 2. So the ghost of Christmas past, the first of the 3 spirits to visit him. Now, it is a very strange figure, very small figure actually. It seems to be both young as well as old. The face is that of a very, a very young child, but then it also appears to be old. Now, this ghost takes Scrooge on a journey through Christmases from his past. It begins with showing Scrooge scenes from his childhood. He had a very lonely childhood, but he had a very loving relationship with his sister. And it also shows him, how he was, he enjoyed his youth. He was the apprentice to a person named Fezziwig, who was a very warm person, a very generous person, and a very cheerful person, a very cheerful boss. And if you remember the first slide, there is a picture of a Christmas celebration there. That is actually the Christmas ball that Scrooge had enjoyed in his youth at the office of Fezziwig. So the whole office was cleared up and set aside for guests to come, and they had a very wonderful time enjoying Christmas. So Scrooge is reminded of the time when he was a person who had actually enjoyed Christmas. And next, this ghost shows him Scrooge with his girlfriend named Belle, and the lady appears to be very sad, and Belle is telling Scrooge that she must leave him because he has changed a lot and he loves money more than her. So we understand that Scrooge has transformed into an eager, a very greedy, and a restless man. And the first visit of the ghost of Christmas past ends with the ghost trying to show Scrooge how Belle is leading a very happy life later. She has married another young man, and she seemed to be very happy. She had a very happy family, and Scrooge is terribly disturbed, and he fights with the spirit, and he tells the spirit to take him back. So that is how the first visit ends. Now, stave 3, we find the visit of the ghost of Christmas present. As you can see in the picture, this ghost is a different type of ghost. It appears to be very jolly and boisterous. So the ghost of Christmas present shows Scrooge, takes him through the town, shows different glimpses of how people are celebrating Christmas. So this is the Christmas present, and this stave 3 mainly focuses on how Christmas is celebrated in the Cratchit family. The clerk who works for Scrooge, Bob Cratchit. That family is poor. They have a lot of financial difficulties. The elder daughter is also working to support the family, and the youngest child, the young son of Bob Cratchit, Tim, who's called Tiny Tim, is crippled. But all of them are very happy, and they are preparing to enjoy Christmas with whatever little that they have. Now, this stave 3 ends with the ghost taking Scrooge to his nephew Fred's home. And he sees Fred enjoying Christmas with his friends, and some of them are actually cracking jokes about Scrooge also, calling him a very ridiculous person, a very miserly old man, and so on. And So Scrooge now has begun to understand what he is missing, and how and what people think of him. In Bob Cratchit's family, we find the family actually saying a prayer for Scrooge to bless him. And the fourth section, stave 4, the last of the Christmas spirits. Now Scrooge is, really apprehensive of what this spirit is going to show him, and he is terribly disturbed. So this ghost of Christmas yet to come, it is a hooded figure, a very terrifying figure, a very scary figure. So it shows Scrooge visions of his death, how it affects the people around him, how he dies a very old man, a very lonely old man. And it also shows Scrooge that Tiny Tim, the youngest son of Bob Cratchit, has also died because they couldn't afford, to spend money to treat him well, and so on. So Scrooge is very sad at this, and you see the transformation in Scrooge. And I will read quote a few lines from the text from this stave. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me, I may sponge away the writing on the stone. So the stone here is, you can see in the picture, the ghost shows him the gravestone where you find the name engraved on it, Ebenezer Scrooge. So Scrooge, we understand that Scrooge does not want to die that way, a very lonely, a very sad old man. So stave 5, this is the last section, and it is titled The End of It. And these are the beginning lines from this section. Yes, and the bedpost was his own. So Scrooge wakes up, he realizes it is Christmas Day, and he's so happy. He's happy that the Christmas Day he has not missed the Christmas Day. The bed was his own, the room was his own, and best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own, to make amends in. The ghost's journey, all the three ghosts have taken Scrooge through time, and they have taught Scrooge, what was wrong with his life. So he is delighted that he still has time, he still has the chance to repent. Now, what he does first is he goes to the shop, buys the biggest turkey for the Cratchit family, and then he decides to visit his nephew who had invited him. And the novella ends on a very positive note. So we find that the next day Scrooge offers Bob Cratchit a pay rise. He offers him more pay. He promises to look after his family, and we understand that Scrooge takes care of Tiny Tim. He gains the reputation as a man who knows how to celebrate Christmas. So this is how the novella ends. This is how Dickens ends the novella. Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. He became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. May that be truly said of us, and all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. So, as I mentioned earlier, A Christmas Carol is considered as the great Christmas myth of modern literature, and it shows how we should celebrate Christmas. Now, this is just a basic outline of the plot. You find a graphic representation of what happens in the novella. So, the novella A Christmas Carol reflects carol philosophy, Dickens' Christmas philosophy. Basically, what he wanted was the Christmas spirit to prevail throughout the year and not just during Christmas. So we find that the novella reflects themes of the spirit of giving and being kind to one another. And another theme that we find in most of his works, the themes of wealth and injustice, which are clear comments on the inequalities of wealth distribution in Victorian England. So it is said that the novella A Christmas Carol also reveals the great attachment of Dickens to Christmas in his family life as well as in his writings. According to William Thackeray, in a contemporary review, Thackeray has called A Christmas Carol as a national benefit, and to every man and woman who reads it, a personal kindness. Now, these are some of the references I have made use of to prepare this video. I hope all of you have enjoyed listening. Thank you so much for your patient listening. Thank you.